Hi. Here we are back to doing our Revelations Bible study. Now we read 10 chapters so far, but right now I feel like I want to read Ezekiel. The only thing is that's 48 chapters about, or maybe it is, and that could take some time. And as much as I'd like to give it an overview, well, let's give it a try anyway. So I'm going to turn to Ezekiel chapter 1. I'm using the Life Application Study Bible. And I like to read the commentaries and the backgrounds of these books to try to have understanding. It's much more interesting that way. It's much more nourishing for the natural mind, and then the spirit, I think it just thrives either way. Okay, so we did the seven. First was the 7 seals, okay, that were part of the scroll, the 7 seals, and then the 7th seal introduces 7 trumpets, and then the 7th trumpet introduces 7 bowls. This is in Revelations. Oh, that's okay, honey. But I try to imagine that a lot, and it makes me think of giving birth, because you have your contractions, and then you go to another phase where things get a lot more intense. Then you go to the final phase when things are very intense, and then you give birth. So that's what I think it feels like. And I have it on my. I want to make a note to research where we're at in this book, because when here in the States, when everyone started wearing the masks and doing the social distancing, I was going through something that I thought was personal, but maybe not. But it was very much like going through some kind of transom. So I don't know if that was a 7th of something. You know, we would either be at the end of the first 7, or the end of the second 7, or even the start. You know, the first seal, which was. Was it the horses? Was the first seal? And the first one was conquering, I think. Okay, but anyway, let's start Ezekiel. Okay. God be with us. Give us insight into your word. Let us know you more. In Jesus' name, amen. The word is read in the name of Jesus Christ. Chapter 1. I'm sorry, that's the bite. Honey, you got to do that. All right. In my 30th year, in the 4th month of the 5th day, while I was among the exiles by the... Okay, so I guess they're in Babylon. While I was among the exiles by the Kebar River, the heavens were opened, and I saw visions of God. Honey, just ignore him. All right. Okay. So he's only 30 years old, and he's in Babylon. And this, I have to look at the timeline. This maybe takes place in 500 BC. I don't happen to be a big dog person. I'm sorry, honey. He's good at getting out. Okay. So, let me look at the timeline here. It's, alright, it's saying about 597 BC to 593. Okay. So, it's backwards when we're doing BC. So, the bigger number is earlier. Okay, so 593, he becomes a prophet. Okay, so this is probably about 593. Verse 2. On the 5th of the month, it was the 5th year of the exile of King Jehoiakim. The word of the Lord came to Ezekiel the priest, the son of Buzi, by the Kebar River in the land of the Babylonians, where the hand of the Lord was on him. I looked, and I saw a windstorm coming out of the north, an immense cloud with flashing lightning and surrounded by brilliant light. The center of the fire looked like glowing metal, and in the fire was what looked like 4 living creatures. In appearance, their form was human, but each of them had 4 faces and 4 wings. Their legs were straight, their feet were like those of a calf, and gleamed like burnished bronze. Under their wings, on their 4 sides, they had human hands. All 4 of them had faces and wings, and the wings of one touched the wings of another. Each one went straight ahead. They did not turn as they moved. Their faces looked like this. Each of the 4 had the face of a human being, and on the right side, each had the face of a lion, and on the left, the face of an ox. Each also had the face of an eagle. Such were their faces. They each had 2 wings, spreading out upward, each wing touching that of the creature on either side. I can, honey. He gets out. You just, when you go down, just kick and punch. And each had 2 other wings covering its body. Each one went straight ahead. Wherever the spirit would go, they would go, without turning as they went. The appearance of the living creatures was like burning coals of fire, or like torches. Fire moved back and forth among the creatures. It was bright, and lightning flashed out of it. The creatures sped back and forth like flashes of lightning. As I looked at the living creatures, I saw a wheel on the ground beside each creature with its 4 faces. This was the appearance and structure of the wheels. They sparkled like topaz, and all 4 looked alike. Each appeared to be made like a wheel intersecting a wheel. As they moved, they would go in any one of the 4 directions the creatures faced. The wheels did not change direction as the creatures went. Their rims were high and awesome, and all 4 rims were full of eyes all around.
He doesn't know how to fly.
When the living creatures moved, the wheels moved them. The wheels beside them moved. And when the living creatures rose from the ground, the wheels also rose. Wherever the Spirit would go, they would go, and the wheels would rise along with them, because the Spirit of the living creatures was in the wheels. When the creatures moved, they also moved. When the creatures stood still, they also stood still. And when the creatures rose from the ground, the wheels rose along with them, because of the Spirit of the living creatures was in the wheels. Because the Spirit of the living creatures was in the wheels. Spread out above the heads of the living creatures was what looked something like a vault, sparkling like crystal and awesome. Under the vault, their wings were stretched out one toward the other, and each had 2 wings covering its body. When the creatures moved, I heard the sound of their wings, like the roar of rushing waters.
Mommy, only for a minute he can get out of the cage.
Hold on, babe. Like the voice of the Almighty, like the tumult of an army.
Before he gets me.
When they stood still, they lowered their wings. Then there came a voice from above the vault over their heads as they stood with lowered wings. Above the vault over their heads was what looked like a throne of lapis lazuli. I think we might have referenced this when we read the similar chapter. I think chapter 4 of Revelations. And high above on the throne, above the vault over their heads was what looked like a throne of lapis lazuli. And high above on the throne was a figure like that of a man. The vault, or the crystal vault, or the glass floor as it is in Revelations, really reminds me of what is the firmament. And in my mind, I picture the flat earth model, which is the ancient Hebrew conception of the heavens and earth. Okay, there's a figure like that of a man on the throne. I saw that from what appeared to be his waist up. He looked like glowing metal, as if full of fire, and that from there down he looked like fire, and brilliant light surrounded him. Okay, above the vault. Okay, so we're looking at, the same scenario with the throne area. The throne is on the vault.
Look, that's the cage. Look, I see the cage.
28. Like the appearance of a rainbow in the clouds on a rainy day, so was the radiance around him. This was the appearance of the likeness of the glory of the Lord. When I saw it, I fell face down, and I heard the voice of one speaking. God, thank you for your word. Thank you for giving us your word and revealing yourself to us through your word. We love you, and we pray that you keep us always, God. In Jesus' name, amen. Thank you.